You've typed out the full work reply to your manager, checked it twice, and your finger is hovering over the send button. Then you delete the last line, rephrase it, delete it again, and sit staring at your screen for 7 minutes, your chest tight. What if this sounds rude? What if I missed a detail? What if he reads this and thinks I'm incompetent? You call yourself indecisive, beat yourself up for being bad at making calls, and assume you just don't have the confidence other people have. This isn't just being careful. This is what we call an outdated self-doubt protection pattern, a habit your brain picked up to keep you safe that now does more harm than good. Your self-doubt isn't a flaw. It's an old protection pattern that outlived its use. You've probably told yourself a few of these stories to explain why you do this. First, that you're just naturally indecisive, that you lack the spine to make a call and stick with it. Second, that this constant second guessing is just you being responsible, that the more you doubt, the less likely you are to mess up. Third, that this doubt is entirely a bad thing, that you should be able to turn it off completely if you were just stronger. That story sounds convincing, but it leaves out something important. You may not have always been this way. Maybe you were just the person who cared about getting things right, who didn't want to let people down, who wanted to avoid unnecessary mistakes and the criticism that came with them. That's not a flaw. That's you being thoughtful, careful, and invested in doing well. So the real question is not whether you are indecisive. The real question is why doubt became your first line of defense. This pattern forms when, in certain repeated feedback environments, small mistakes are treated as bigger than they are. Maybe you turned in a school assignment with a tiny error once, and a teacher held it up as proof you weren't paying attention. Maybe you made a small call at an old job that didn't work out, and a supervisor criticized your judgment in front of the whole team. Maybe every time you picked something as a kid, a movie, a meal, a hobby, someone made a comment about how that was a bad choice or how you always picked the wrong thing. Over time, your brain learned to connect making a choice with possible criticism, embarrassment, or disappointment. So it started running a check first. Doubt yourself before anyone else can. So you can fix every possible flaw before anyone gets the chance to judge you. That's where this pattern becomes exhausting. It doesn't just show up in big, high-stakes decisions. It creeps into every small part of your day. You open the takeout app to order lunch, scroll for 40 minutes, reading every review of every restaurant, because what if you pick the wrong place and the food is bad? That small disappointment feels like proof you can't even get small choices right. You type out a quick message to send to a group chat, read it over 10 times, and then delete it entirely. What if it's not funny? What if everyone thinks it's weird that you chimed in? You'd rather say nothing than risk being seen as annoying or out of place. You have a presentation ready for a team meeting. You've rehearsed it 3 times, but 10 minutes before you're supposed to speak, you start rewriting slides and rearranging points. What if your idea is stupid? What if everyone in the room thinks you don't know what you're talking about? The doubt doesn't make the presentation better. It just makes you more anxious before you even start. You get 2 job offers, both with good pros and cons, and you spend 2 weeks making spreadsheets, asking every friend you know for their opinion, reading Glassdoor reviews until your eyes burn. You know which one you want, but you can't bring yourself to accept it. What if it's the wrong choice? What if people say you picked the worst option, that you have bad judgment? The longer you wait, the more you start to believe you don't actually know what's best for yourself. And even after you do make a choice, even when it works out perfectly, you still find yourself replaying it. What if I'd picked the other one? Would it have been even better? You don't get to feel proud of the good outcome because the doubt is still there, telling you you just got lucky, not that you made a good call. Let's talk about what this pattern is actually costing you right now, even if it kept you safe once. And if this kind of self-understanding is useful to you, you can subscribe for more videos on the hidden patterns behind overthinking, self-doubt, and emotional exhaustion. Because this doubt used to serve a purpose. Back when you were in that environment where mistakes were held against you, being extra careful kept you from getting hurt. It helped you avoid the criticism you hated. It kept you from feeling like you'd let yourself or other people down. But that environment is probably gone now. The pattern didn't go away when the context changed. It's still running in the background, even when there's no real risk of being harshly judged for a small mistake. That's where the cost begins. It doesn't just slow you down, it erodes the trust you have in yourself, one small decision at a time. First, it eats away at your momentum. You stall on every small step, waiting until you're 100% sure before you act. And by the time you are, the opportunity might have passed. That message you waited 20 minutes to send, the conversation moved on without you. That job offer you waited 2 weeks to accept, they gave it to someone else. Second, it erodes your trust in your own judgment. Every time you doubt a call you already know you want to make, you're telling your brain you can't trust what you think. Over time, that becomes automatic. You don't even stop to ask what you want anymore. You just ask what other people would think is the right choice. Third, it turns every ordinary choice into a trial of your worth. A lunch order isn't just a lunch order. A work message isn't just a work message. Every choice becomes a test of whether you're competent, smart, or good enough. Even when you pick right, you don't get to feel good about it because you're already waiting for the next choice, the next test you might fail. Your brain was trying to protect you, but it ended up trapping you now. You're not bad at making decisions. Your brain just learned to doubt first. Of course, not all doubt is a sign this pattern is at work. There's a clear line between healthy reflection and the kind of defensive self-doubt that eats away at you. Healthy reflection is focused on the choice itself. You're asking, how can I make this better? You're looking for new information. You're adjusting for gaps, and once you've worked through it, you take action. You don't tie the outcome to how much value you have as a person. If it doesn't work out, you learn from it. You don't decide you're a failure. Defensive self-doubt is focused entirely on whether you're going to be wrong. You're not asking how to make the choice better. You're asking, what if I'm bad at this? You're not looking for new information. You're just cycling through the same fears over and over again. There's no endpoint. Even after you make the choice, you keep replaying it, trying to prove to yourself you didn't mess up. You tie every outcome directly to your worth. If the choice works, you're lucky. If it doesn't, you're incompetent. Next time you're stuck in that loop, you can pause for 10 seconds and ask yourself one simple question. Am I thinking about this to make the choice better, or am I thinking about this to prove I won't be wrong? You don't have to force the doubt to go away. You just have to notice which one it is. Go back to that moment with the work message to your manager, the one you spent 10 minutes rewriting. The next time that happens, you don't have to berate yourself for being indecisive. You can recognize that tight feeling in your chest isn't proof you're bad at your job. It's an old warning system going off, a habit your brain picked up a long time ago to keep you safe. You don't need to get rid of the warning. You just need to recognize that the danger it's warning you about isn't there anymore. You don't have to fix your self-doubt. You just need to recognize it no longer has to protect you. You're not indecisive. Your brain just got good at keeping you safe by doubting first. You don't lack the ability to choose. You just haven't trusted your own judgment in a long time. The goal isn't to never doubt yourself again. The goal is to stop treating every small doubt as proof that you're not good enough. And if this helped you understand yourself a little more, you can subscribe for more videos on the hidden patterns behind overthinking, self-doubt, and emotional exhaustion. What's one small decision you've been overthinking lately, even when you already knew what you wanted to do?